Sup, you beautiful bastards. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is the story and controversy around Bailey Davis, a now former New Orleans Saints cheerleader. And she's in the news because she filed a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission against the Saints. This for alleged gender discrimination. Her complaint claiming that female cheerleaders are held to a very different and higher personal conduct standard than male players. And this complaint is coming after Davis was fired for breaking a team rule that only applied to female cheerleaders. And according to Davis's complaint, here's why she says she was fired. In January, she posts a photo of herself in a one-piece outfit on her private Instagram, although right now it's not clear which specific picture the Saints were upset about. And the Saints claim that she broke a rule because the team prohibits cheerleaders from appearing nude, semi-nude, or in lingerie. And at the time she posted this photo, the team was already looking into other incidents involving her. Davis claiming the team had been investigating whether or not she had attended a party with Saints players, a claim that she denies. According to Davis's complaint, the Saints also accused her of receiving messages from players on Instagram. To this, she admits to receiving messages from players, but has also said that she never responded to those messages. And she also claims that after posting the photo, Ashley Deaton, the director of the team's cheerleading squad, sent her a text saying, "Very poor judgment to post a picture like that, especially considering our recent conversations about the rumors going around about you." And then 4 days later, Davis was fired. And so that's why Davis is now claiming that the rules that got her fired are discriminatory because male players are not subjected to the same conduct rules. According to Davis's complaint, Saints cheerleaders are barred from following any players or coaches on social media, must block any Saints player who follows them on social media, can't contact players, respond to messages from them, or like any of their social media photos, can't post any images of themselves in Saints gear, can't post any images of themselves that are considered semi-nude or that show them in lingerie, must avoid making eye contact and move to the side if they encounter a player in the tunnel that leads into the stadium, and must leave a restaurant, bar, or party if an NFL player is already there or arrives after them. And according to the complaint, players are not held to these standards. And they are also reportedly not penalized for pursuing the cheerleaders. And I will say, if this is 100% accurate, that the cheerleaders are held to this policy, but the players aren't, that is extremely odd. That would be the organization regulating and penalizing the target rather than the potential weapons. The cheerleaders have to double check who's following them on social media just in case someone from the team that they're cheering for is following them, and then they have to block them. When it seems like you could have a policy like, "Hey players, stop trying to fuck our cheerleaders." But that said, I'm trying to reserve full judgment for now because the Saints haven't really fully responded. What we have gotten from them though is a lawyer representing the organization told the New York Times, "The Saints organization strives to treat all employees fairly, including Ms. Davis. At the appropriate time and in the appropriate forum, the Saints will defend the organization's policies and workplace rules. For now, it's sufficient to say that Ms. Davis was not subjected to discrimination because of her gender." And with that said, you have the story, you also have my opinion, and now I'd love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts around this? Is this discrimination? Is this unfair or no? I'd love to know your thoughts and why. Then in streaming news, YouTube news, I forgot to mention this yesterday, I want to congratulate YouTuber El Rubius. He's a massive Spanish gamer with over 28 million subscribers on YouTube. And we're talking about him because he set up this massive live stream event of YouTubers playing Fortnite. It was he and 99 others. And in just a few hours, they drew more than 1.1 million concurrents. I mean, these numbers are amazing and crazy. The last time we talked about a streaming record regarding Fortnite, we were talking about Twitch and specifically Ninja and Drake. They at the time had completely destroyed the single player live stream record on Twitch. And it's been like 2 seconds and we're already talking about someone beating that number by over 500,000. This is great for everyone. It's good for the platforms, it's good for the game, it's good for the players actually playing. It's great for the internet and streaming in general because it's just pure numbers. Every day we see these new numbers, the audiences grow, it becomes less of a this is the future and more of a this is the now. And it's one of the reasons why as of last year, reportedly digital advertising spending is now surpassing that of television. And I'm very excited to see what happens next. I do want to end this on 2 notes. 1, keep it up. And 2, Minecraft YouTubers who stopped actually enjoying Minecraft years and years ago, but then really still liked the money. The numbers are saying you should feel free to now enjoy a new game. But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today. And today in Awesome brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, of course, a fantastic ticket app that takes confusion out of buying tickets for all kinds of live events, concerts, comedy shows, whatever. They put all the tickets in one place. They give them 0 to 100 scores so you know if you're getting a good deal or not. I've got the app on my phone and it is by far the easiest way to buy tickets, whether it be something last minute or something down the road that you're looking forward to. Like maybe you want some Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar in your future. So if you want to check it out, like many from the nation already have, go to SeatGeekPhil.com. Download the app and be sure you enter in offer code PHIL, because when you do that, SeatGeek will give you $20 off your first ticket purchase. And the first bit of awesome is actually self-promo. After massive demand stemming from when I said it, we are now officially launching the I'm gonna boycott your boycott of their boycott with my own boycott, and I'm going to preemptively announce I'm boycotting anyone who boycotts my boycott everyone shirt and or hoodie. The perfect shirt for 2018, which so far seems to be the year of the boycott. Also, if you find this shirt to be offensive, please boycott it because I would love the free promo. But yeah, if you want to snag one while you can, link down below. Then we got a trailer for The House with a Clock in Its Wall starring Jack Black and Cate Blanchett. We got the honest trailer for Star Wars The Last Jedi. Then in Bro Awesome, we had Dude Perfect doing boomerang trick shots. And if you want to see the full versions of everything, I just shared the secret link of the day, anything at all. Links as always are in the description down below. Then we had a quick update around the self-driving Uber death out of Arizona. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey has now suspended Uber from testing self-driving vehicles on public roads, saying, I found the video to be disturbing and alarming, and it raises many questions about the ability of Uber to continue its testing in Arizona. And following this, Uber responded, we proactively suspended self-driving operations in all cities immediately following the tragic incident last week. We continue to help investigators in any way we can, and we'll keep a dialogue open with the governor's office going forward. Also around this story, we have a new accusation that's come out from Aptiv PLC. They're the company that makes the collision avoidance technology. A spokesman for the company telling Bloomberg, we don't want people to be confused or think it was a failure of the technology that we supply for Volvo, because that's not the case. And then reportedly alleging that Uber disabled the standard collision avoidance technology in the Volvo SUV that struck and killed that woman. Uber was instead using its own self-driving system. And in response to this, Uber declined to comment, and Volvo said that they are waiting for the results of an investigation. That's where we are as of right now, and we'll see if new information comes out soon. And then let's talk about Facebook, because a lot has happened since we last talked about them and their Cambridge Analytica scandal. Their stock plummeted even more. We saw headlines saying that they lost over $100 billion in value. This also meaning that Zuckerberg's net worth went down billions. And Zuckerberg's been in damage control mode, saying, I'm really sorry. Facebook also bought and released full-page apologies in US and UK newspapers. This including the New York Times, the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, the Sunday Telegraph, and the Sunday Times. The ad saying, we have a responsibility to protect your information. If we can't, we don't deserve it. Also calling the Cambridge Analytica situation a breach of trust, adding, I'm sorry we didn't do more at the time. We're now taking steps to make sure this doesn't happen again. And I will say personally, from my standpoint, I think it makes sense that they're trying to own this. You know, it's smart PR. But I'm also confused, like many others, where why they would choose to buy a giant ad in newspapers rather than releasing it digitally. You're Facebook, why not release it on Facebook? Also, I don't think a full-page apology is really going to do the trick, because every day we're now seeing a new Facebook story. In this same news cycle, we're seeing headlines like, Facebook scraped call, text message data for years from Android phones. And this popped up because people have been downloading their data from Facebook this week. And I'll link down below the instructions for how you do this. It's actually really simple, and the information they have on you is really interesting. But as far as the collection of call data, SMS data, Facebook has now responded, saying this feature is opt-in, adding, we never sell this data, and this feature does not collect the content of your text messages or calls. Also saying you can opt out in settings, and once you do so, all that data will be deleted. We also saw Elon Musk deleting Tesla's and SpaceX's Facebook accounts. Reportedly, Facebook's also on the cusp of their very own adpocalypse. Several companies have decided to suspend their ad campaigns. Among them, you have Mozilla, Pep Boys, Commerce Bank, Sonos. And actually, on the note of Mozilla, they have released a Facebook-centric extension. They've now announced and released the Facebook Container extension, saying this extension helps you control more of your web activity from Facebook by isolating your identity into a separate container. This makes it harder for Facebook to track your activity on other websites via third-party cookies. And they go on to explain that the mindset behind this is, rather than stop using a service you find valuable and miss out on those adorable photos of your nephew, we think you should have the tools to limit what data others can collect about you. That includes us. Mozilla does not collect data from your use of the Facebook Container extension. We only know the number of times the extension is installed or removed. We've also seen the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, announcing that they are now investigating Facebook. We also have Congress and Parliament updates. In the States, Congress said that they wanted to hear from Zuckerberg. Whether Zuckerberg was going to do it or not, that has not been officially confirmed. But today we did get a report from CNN's Dylan Byers, who said, Facebook sources tell me the 33-year-old CEO has come to terms with the fact that he will have to testify before Congress within a matter of weeks. And Facebook is currently planning the strategy for his testimony. We also had Bloomberg saying on April 12, Zuckerberg would be appearing before a House panel. But as of recording this video, the committee says that nothing is confirmed yet. So that's still a little bit up in the air. As far as Parliament in the UK, it appears that as of right now, Zuckerberg has no plans to go himself. MP Damian Collins had written a letter to Facebook saying, it's now time that I hear from a senior Facebook executive with the sufficient authority to give an accurate account of this catastrophic failure of process. There is a strong public interest test regarding user protection. And Facebook responded yesterday with, we have responded to Mr. Collins and the DCMS and offered for 2 senior company representatives from our management team to meet with the committee depending on on timings most convenient for them. Adding both Chris Cox and Mike Schroeder report directly to Mark Zuckerberg and are among the longest-serving senior representatives in Facebook's 15-year history. And to this, Collins responded, "We will seek to clarify with Facebook whether he is available to give evidence or not, because that wasn't clear from our correspondence. If he is able to give evidence, then we will be happy to do that either in person or by video link if that will be more convenient for him." And all of this is happening while, as I'm recording, the stock is down another 4% today. But with that said, a question I'll pass off to you. Regarding Facebook, how much do you actually trust them? Are you aware of what you are with them? Do you care about the privacy? How do you feel about the privacy? Also, did you or anyone you know actually shut down your Facebook accounts? Any and all things, I'd love to know in those comments down below. And then let's talk about this horrible story coming out of Russia. At around 4 p.m. on Sunday, a massive fire broke out at the Winter Cherry Mall in the city of Kemerovo, Russia. And according to Russia's investigative committee, at least 64 people died in the fire, with 41 of them being children. And the reason the number of children is so high is the fire is thought to have broken out on the 4th floor of the mall in the children's play area next to the cinema, then spreading to the 3rd floor after the 4th floor partially collapsed. And there was footage captured by the CCTV cameras, and it is horrifying. The fire and the smoke, it spread so fast. Some of the worst footage that I'm not going to show in this video involved people jumping from the 4th floor because they were unable to get out any other way. Some even hitting things on the way down. Reportedly, 288 firefighters arrived at the mall. It took 19 hours to put the fire out. And according to the head of the city's fire department, the blaze spread via flammable thermal insulation, making it especially difficult to extinguish. Now, to the question of what caused this fire, there are two competing reports. One, according to Kemerovo's vice governor, this started in the play area, and quote, "The preliminary suspicion is that a child had a cigarette lighter which ignited foam rubber in this trampoline room, and it erupted like gunpowder." But other Russian media sources, such as state-run Interfax, have reported that there are possible violations in the installation and maintenance of the mall's electrical grid, saying the grid could not withstand an increased load that day and did not have protection against different voltages, which caused the fire. And as far as why the official death toll is high, and in fact may be higher because there are missing people, well, the mall was really busy as Sunday was the first day of a week-long school holiday in Russia. Investigators are also saying that there were serious building violations at the mall, this including blocked fire exits. Videos, including this one, popped up online seeming to show people unable to escape through locked fire exits. There are also reports that a security officer turned off the PA system when informed about the blaze. In a Facebook post, Anton Gorelkin, a member of parliament for Kemerovo, wrote, "Children died next to fire exits. They knew where to run, they were going in the right direction, but doors were locked." Also saying that a fire extinguisher that could put out the flames did not work, and also singling out the owners and developers of the mall for taking shortcuts with its construction, writing, "People whose pockets were filling with millions from this shopping mall knew that one day this money will smell of blood." Gorelkin also adding, "The building's acceptance certificate was signed by the commission. The main signature was signed by the deputy mayor. He is also the head of the city improvement department. He could close his eyes to obvious security problems only in one case, I think, if his eyes were closed with money." There have also been reports from eyewitnesses saying the building's fire alarms never sounded, leaving many, including those in a movie theater, unaware that there was even an emergency. And investigators have detained 5 people thus far in connection with this fire. This including the technical director of the mall, the tenant of the area from where the fire is thought to have begun, the head of the company servicing the fire alarm system, and the security guard who allegedly failed to raise alarm when the fire broke out. We also saw Russian President Vladimir Putin flying to Kemerovo, both offering condolences to the families as well as blaming criminal negligence. Putin also saying 100 investigators were on the scene trying to determine the exact cause of the fire. And around the same time of Putin's visit, there was an angry crowd that formed in front of the city's main municipal building, reportedly starting with just a few dozen people, then growing to around 4,000 reportedly. And many of the demonstrators believing that the death count is actually much higher. According to Interfax, relatives have reported that 85 people are still missing, and most of them are children. And on the note of criminal negligence, let's talk about the alleged owner of the mall. Some Russian media sources have reported that the owner of the mall is Denis Shtengelov. And Shtengelov is a Russian snack and candy tycoon who is involved in many ventures in the country. And at the time of the fire, he actually wasn't in the country, he was in Australia where he lives part-time, and when reached by Russian journalists after the fire, he reportedly refused to answer whether he owned the mall or not. Which, hey, I'm just gonna insert my opinion here, is a weird fucking response to a pretty basic question. But he did admit that his company helped fund its construction. Shtengelov then went on to say something that I found weird for someone that seemed to not be sure if he actually owned this thing or not, saying his company would pay the equivalent of $52,000 to the families of each person killed in the fire. Also, when asked if he would be returning to Russia, he reportedly said, "To come just to go to jail?" So there was that. And on top of that, there also seemed to be another failure. In 2016, the chief fire inspector for the Ministry of Emergency Situations told state news agency TASS that a scheduled inspection in 2016 never took place because of, quote, supervisory holidays. Just failure after failure after failure, and now you have all of these people dead, all of these children dead. And as of right now, that's where we are. Hopefully we get more information from these investigators, but also at the same time, I have limited faith in the information that we're going to get because what we're talking about is systemic corruption. And it just makes me wonder, are they actually going to find the people that are responsible for this? And I mean top down. Or are you just going to see a fall guy or two and not the prosecution of the people that set up the dominoes in the first place? And that's where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I'm trying to do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. Also, if you missed yesterday's Philip DeFranco show, you want to catch up, click or tap right there to watch that. Or maybe you want something lighter, you can watch the newest behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.